Hello, Cruising World, Mick the Suit Guy with you. It's Monday, and now we're on part 2 of Dawne's tips. We gave you part 1 last week. Well, for me, it was about 3 seconds ago because I'm just recording them back to back. So we have 4 last week. We got 4 more this week. As always, I have not read them. We're going to read them and react as we go. So let's get right into it with Dawne's first one of this week, which is number 5 overall. I may have a school when I was 15, and I may have 0 education, but I can count most of the time. I can count to 15. If you know, you know. All right, number 1 this week, number 5 overall. For those cruisers who love to self-explore in port, especially in Europe, do not wait and take the last bus, train, tram that can return you to the ship for the back-on-ship time. Have the bus, train, tram schedule handy, download it in advance, and always aim for the 3rd or 2nd last. This allows for traffic and cancellations, which are a regular occurrence over there. Also wise to download their local ride apps just in case. Now, I'm sure that's fine and dandy, Dawne, but I will tell you my tip over that would be never, ever, ever take a bus, train, or local tram on a tour that's not part of a ship tour, because they are so unreliable, especially in places like Europe. I would never trust them. So I'm not going to disagree with your tip. I mean, it's a perfectly fine tip if you are comfortable doing that, and everybody's different. I would never ever recommend that you do local transport on these tours unless you give yourself a massive break. When we do private tours, it's a tour with a local company that knows we're on the cruise ship, that knows what time that ship is leaving, and knows we have to be back at a certain time. If you are on a private tour and something happens that you're running late, you always have the option of saying to the driver, let's skip that last part and you can take us back to the ship now so that we make sure we're back on time. If you are doing that with local transport, that ain't gonna happen. They're not gonna care. So that would be my recommendation. Whenever we book as you probably know if you watch this, we rarely, if ever, book ship tours unless we have no choice. We never do. And one time we came close to missing the boat was last year in Dominica when we hit some really bad traffic on the way back. But I will still maintain to this day that if we hit that traffic, other people on Carnival tours will have been stuck in that same traffic, so it wouldn't have been the end of the world. Don't know that for sure, but pretty confident. And we were still back an hour before the ship left because we always build in a 2-hour buffer. So if the ship is back on board at 3:30, we are back at 1:30, right? We always allow that much time. And we still have plenty of time to see things. We still pay a lot less for our excursion than you would with Carnival. We have a lot less people on the excursion than we do with Carnival. And we do a lot and see a lot more things because the local company can give you more when they are not paying such a high cut that they have to pay to Carnival. We'll leave that one there. That's a whole other video. But yes, I get what you're saying. But I cannot, in all consciousness, recommend that you take local transport when you're in a foreign port. And most of these companies have a back-to-ship guarantee. You know, the cruise lines do a really good job of scaring you into thinking, oh my God, if they're not back on time, the ship's going to leave us behind. But if we do a ship tour, it doesn't matter if it's late, they're going to wait for us. Just plan accordingly. Recently, there was a story of a family of 8 or something that got left behind. And all the do-gooders were, oh, I told you. You see, that's why you always take ship tours. That family didn't plan properly. They did not leave enough time to get back to the ship. Leave enough time and you'll be fine. Ooh. I'm going to put that on a t-shirt. Leave enough time and you'll be fine. Yeah. Not quite a perfect N and an M, but it's good enough. You know what I'm saying. All right. Next, number 2 this week. When cruising abroad, we like abroad cruising ones here, Dawne, don't we? It's always helpful and appreciated by locals if you learn a few basic words in their language. Hello, please, and thank you go a long way. Also, don't be afraid to use a live translate app. It's a fun way to engage with locals. Don't have my phone in here right now because it's charging, but I do have a live translate app on there. I've got Google Translate. I also bought this little machine that you could talk into. I've never actually used it, but we're going on the panorama. We are going to go to Philippines, Vietnam, Malaysia, and Guam. So yeah, we might end up using it there. But I agree 100% in what you're saying. I can say dos cervezas, por favor, in about 15 different languages. I can say yes and no in about the same, but that's about as far as it goes. So I can say that in a lot of different languages. I know a lot of Serbian words too, but they are not to be repeated on here because one of my favorite things is to wind up the Serbian bartenders by asking other Serbian bartenders for some really offensive Serbian sayings, and then Serbians don't care, and I walk up and I ask for a drink and then I insult them. And they always find it funny, but could not do that right now live on camera. Serbians are a different breed. But yes, absolutely, and appreciated by locals. I saw this video, this young white kid in a Chinese club. It was in America, I think, but he's there, and the waitress comes, it was a restaurant, a waitress comes over, and he orders in perfect Mandarin. And everybody's faces were like, and then they started smiling and laughing, and they went over and talked to him. So yes, it is very much appreciated when you do things like that. Probably a fake video, but I get the gist of it. So try and learn this. And if you don't know, like we do this if we're going on a private tour when we went to Vietnam. And unfortunately, can't remember it now, but when we got in the car, first thing we asked our guide was, what is hello, goodbye, good morning in Vietnamese? And then we did the same in Thailand. Can't remember any of them, but we knew it for a few days. Very, very much appreciated when you do that. So good idea. And when you're cruising abroad and you're in England, the words you would typically use in England are cheers, mate, or that's about it, really. Most of the other ones are really bad, like Serbians, but in English, so you'd really understand what I was saying. Well, we're very polite people. Hello, what how? Nothing bothers us. We're calm, collected, unless it's football. Not soccer, football. Then it's a bit different. All right, got two more. I got to get going. I'm waffling. Number 3 this week. Pay bathrooms, where you also pay for the tissue, are the norm in many European ports. If you are not ready for lunch, nor do you want to spend a lot of money on a drink, but you need a fast bathroom break, don't be afraid to pop into the nearest McDonald's, Burger King, KFC, etc. They are abundant over there. For the cost of a cold drink or coffee, you'll get an access code that will provide you with the use of a clean bathroom, free tissue, and Wi-Fi. It's a good 5-minute pit stop. 5 minutes. Be aware also that in some European cities, and it's been a while since I've been to Europe, I'm not going to lie, so I could be wrong, but specifically we're talking men's urinals here, they could just be on the street. They could just be a thing with them, no doors, no walls. You just walk up, you go, and you walk off. I've seen them. They exist. Oh, yes, they exist. But yes, that is a very good tip. There are most bathrooms, like on train stations in England, they want money. Used to be a little bit of money. Now it's like £1 for some of them, 50p for some of them. So just be aware of that. You do need cash to get into a lot of bathrooms. But having said that, in a lot of Caribbean ports now, they want money for the bathroom. So it's always a good idea to have some loose change on you for the unexpected, not just bathroom breaks, as we talked about earlier. Carry tip money wherever you go, because tips will go a long, long way. Quick example, we're in Ocho Rios, and we were doing the Duns River Falls, and we were walking up, and I had my GoPro on with one of them helmets, and we had to jump off into like a little water area where you go under and you come up. As I went under, I didn't realize how deep it was. As I went under, it fell off. A local dived in, saved my GoPro, but would not give it back to me until I gave him money. That's a little bit different. That's Jamaicans for you. Ooh, not all Jamaicans. Not all Jamaicans. That's categorizing. Terrible thing to do. This particular Jamaican was not going to give it back to me until I gave him a nice tip. So good thing I had some money. All right, last one. Number 4 this week. Please don't forget to complete your post-cruise guest satisfaction survey. You will only have 10 days to do so. The survey is important for many reasons, but one being that the feedback you provide, especially for crew who have gone over and beyond at their job, is key to their morale and promotions. Be sure to write down the names of those who stood out, or, with their permission, take a photo of them with their name tags and mention them in the comment section. Now, I'm pretty confident that this is the case. You cannot upload photos onto those surveys. I also know, because Dawne actually messaged me and asked me, and I didn't know the answer, so she actually contacted John Heald. She contacted John Heald with a post that was about as long as that, because I read it. A long post. And only 40% of guests actually get that satisfaction survey, which makes 0 sense, because all the way through the cruise, they drum it into you that at the end of the cruise, you're going to get a survey and how important it is, so please complete the survey. And yes, it is very important, very, very important, and it does go a long way. They take the best comments and they actually put them on a comment board in the crew area. And it's a real buzz for the crew members to get those statements from the guests. It really, really does go a long way. And more important than that, it goes a long way if they get constant good comments to getting promotions, to getting pay raises and stuff like that. So don't feel like just, whatever, they were okay, and just tell them. Nobody knows that you told them. Tell the powers that be what a great job they did. Ask your room steward when you get on board. They'll always have their business card. But if they have an assistant, ask for the assistant's name as well. You know, remember to write down the names of the bartenders at your favorite bars. It's easy to forget those names even a few days later. Trust me. Always write them down. And yes, fill it out. And if you have ever done that survey, I always get them, because the Platinum and Diamonds, they're going to send them the surveys regardless, because they mean a bit more in their minds. But I don't think that that's accurate at all. I think you would get better reviews from people on their first cruise or their second cruise. I think that's better feedback, because they are experiencing things for the first time. When we do it, we're comparing it to how we were treated on other ships. They're comparing it to their first or second or third cruise, which I think would be a lot more important. You know, they want to keep them coming back. They know we're coming back. It's just me. I don't know. I think they got the priorities wrong on that one. But yes, if you ever do get those guest surveys, take the time, fill them out, and send them back in. And with that, Dawne, your time is done. It was good though. Good 2 weeks. 8, we got you 4 each week. And I did waffle quite a lot. And I did have some comments on them, maybe more than I actually sometimes have. But that doesn't mean that what Dawne said wasn't good. I just had a few things I wanted to add for you. And with that, subscribe to this little channel. Hit that little bell if you want to get notifications when these videos come out. Send me your tips. I love getting your tips, because I can't do this on my own. I would never think of half these tips, and I learn something every time I read them out. I learned a lot on Dawne's. I've never done a European cruise, so a lot of that stuff I didn't know. So that's very important. If you have any questions, my email is coming up at the end of this also. I will see you later, Cruising World. Any questions? Email me anytime. cruisingsuitguy@gmail.com. I promise I'll reply as soon as possible. Want to book a cruise or any type of travel? We are travel agents. Check out our site, elitetravelconnection.com, or email me, Mick, at elitetravelconnection.com. We are here for you. Finally, subscribe, please. Pretty please. You know you want to. Go on. I won't beg you. Okay, I'm begging. Please. Subscribe. Thank you.